our previous discussion, we had a conversation on full wave rectification, specifically on the center tab, and then here we are going to deal with the same full wave, but then our main focus is going to be on the bridge type. Okay, so after we have passed through the transformer stage, now we have our AC. That means this is the secondary part of the AC source. Okay, and then it uses four diodes. Okay, so we have one here and we have another one here. So here the direction is based on the fact that the AC travel from positive, negative, positive, negative. So positive half cycle, negative half cycle. So all you need is to let one positive part of the diode connected to the AC, and the negative side of it also connected to the AC. Okay, and then here we'll get the same thing here. The same thing will happen here again. So here the negative was here, so we are going to get a positive. So you get it. So you can see that they have the anode here, the cathode here, all, and then it's connected to the AC. Okay. So here our output here is going to be positive. You understand it better when we start it. Okay. And then here we get another output here, right? Connected to the load. So we have our load resistance here, RL. Okay. Now let's analyze what we have here. Okay. Now first of all what we are going to understand is based on the fact that the AC travels from positive to negative. So we have the positive half cycle and the negative half cycle. And we have already discussed that in rectification, all we need to do is to make the current travel in only one direction, either it being the positive half cycle or the negative half cycle, right? So here we are going to first of all consider the positive half cycle, right? Meaning that we are going to consider only one side of the waveform. So we are going to consider only the top, which is the positive half cycle. And then look at what will happen. So here, assuming the positive is what is coming, so we have the positive here and the negative here. Okay, positive is passing through. It means that what? So let me label it D1, D2, okay, D3, and then finally we have our D4. Now if you have positive here, it means that D2 will be in D1 will be in a forward bias mode. Positive meaning D1 is going to be in a forward bias mode, right? So that means D1 is on. Okay, so we'll get our positive output here, and then that will pass through this side, and then finally we get our positive when the load section, right? Now let's look at D1, the same positive passing through at D4, right? We have positive, and then the cathode, which is the negative, is going to be in a reverse bias mode, meaning that what? D4 will be off. Okay. Similarly, let's look at the negative part of the positive half cycle. So the negative is coming down, entering into D3 is going to be in a reverse bias mode, meaning that D3 is off. And then D2, negative, that means that it's going to be in a forward bias mode, which of course this side we are going to get a source here. So you can see clearly that there's a twice of voltage drop, right? So D1 and D2 is working, whilst D4 and then D3 is off. You get it? So you are going to get a negative source, meaning that our output is going to be negative like this. Okay. Now similarly, let's now analyze that. It means that now our output, we've gotten the positive half cycle being active, right? Okay. The positive half cycle being active. So this one was working. Now let's look at the negative side. Okay. So now we are going to consider the negative side, negative half cycle like this, and see what will happen. So that means that at this point in time, we are going to get here to be negative, right? And then we'll have here to be positive. Okay. So if negative is passing through diode D1, diode D1 is going to be in the off position. You can see negative, positive will be what? Reverse bias. And then here diode D4 is going to be in the forward. That means at that point diode D4 is on. And then here let's look at the positive side. D3 is going to be off because D3 here is positive, right? So you are going to get the positive, meaning at that time D3 is also going to be on. Okay, so here initially it was off, now it is on. And then when it's passing through D2 is also going to be off. So at all points in time, these two diodes are working at a time, Realize that at the initial point, the positive half cycle, here you can see that the D1 wasn't allowed to conduct in the negative, right? But the positive was allowed to conduct. So the negative wasn't allowed to conduct, but the positive part of it is what allowed to conduct in the other direction. Okay. So what we are meaning is that, so if you continue to do it, you see that it's going to get positive, positive continuous to the end. Okay. So at all points in time, you can see that two diodes is going to be on and one is going to be off. Meaning that what the output, right, is going to be what? The secondary voltage. Then that secondary voltage, right? And the only thing that is happening here is that there will be a voltage drop, right? Minus, right? The voltage drop of what? 0.7 in one of the diodes and 0.7 in the other, which will give us a corresponding value of what? 1.4. So our output is always going to be the secondary voltage minus what? 1.4. Now, let's now also understand or find the peak inverse voltage, right? And we said that the peak inverse voltage is simply the amount of voltage the diode should be able to withstand in the reverse bias. Okay. Now realize that at the positive half cycle, where we had here to be positive, here to be negative, okay, what was happening? We realized that D1 was on, but D3 was off. Similarly, D4 was off, D2 was on. Okay. So all what we need to do is that anytime we have the off or the reverse bias, that's where we find the peak inverse voltage. So let's look at this one. We'll find the peak inverse voltage here. And similarly, we can find peak inverse voltage here too as well. Okay. So all you need to do is to identify a closed loop. So let's look at a closed loop we are going to use. So we have a closed loop here. I can use this one. Back to my initial position, or I can just go straight and use D4 and D2. That will also work. So we have peak inverse voltage at this point. Okay, so let's go. So first of all, we have here to be positive and here to be negative, right? From negative to positive will give us positive V sec. So V sec, right? And then from positive to negative, that was the voltage drop of 0.7. And then from the voltage drop of positive to negative, that will give us minus what? PIV, right? And this should be equal to 0. Meaning that our peak inverse voltage, right? Let me change my pen. Will be equal to the secondary voltage, right? Minus what? 0.7. That is basically what we are getting. Now let's get it in terms of our output voltage, okay? We know that the output voltage is given by our V sec minus 0.4. We can make the V sec the subject. So at this point, V sec will be equal to V out, right? Plus 1.4. So we place that here. So peak inverse voltage will be equal to V out, right, plus 1.4 minus 0.7. Okay, so we are going to get our peak inverse voltage to be equal to the output voltage, right, plus 0.17 volts. Now, I said this is really important because it makes you know the types of rectification you should go for. Realize that when we're analyzing the center tap, okay, we had the peak inverse voltage to be equal to 2 times the output voltage. That means it was too large, plus what? 0.7. So if you have to compare this, you can see clearly that what? It is always good for you to go for the bridge type. And that is most of the times the industry they use what? The bridge type full wave rectification. And most of your chargers and all that they use what the bridge type full wave rectification because of what? The peak inverse voltage. And one other things we can also learn from here is that the output voltage for that is less. Realize that the output voltage for the other one was what? The V out, right? V sec on 2 minus what? 0.7. But here, although the drop is high, but then we are getting the full secondary voltage. This one we had the drop to be very high, which is what? 1.4 here. But then the secondary voltage, the entire secondary voltage was what we are using. So here, let's now get a summary of our formulas, okay? Now get the summary of what our voltage is, okay? For the break type, the output voltage, right, is given by the V secondary minus 1.4. and that of the peak inverse voltage, right, is equal to what? V out, right, plus 0.7. And then finally we have the peak average voltage, which of course we've discussed more on that, and it's always equal to what? Twice the peak voltage, right, all divided by pi. Now let's move on to the center tab, right? For the center tab, V out, okay, is equal to what? V sec, right? But here we are dividing it by 2 because we are tapping at the center, minus what? 0.7. And that of the peak inverse voltage the diode must withstand is equal to twice the output plus 0.7. And finally, we have the V average, which is also the same, twice the VP because it's also full wave, all divided by 1 pi. Thank you very much, and then you need to keep these formulas in mind. It's going to help you analyze more questions like this in future.